advice would you give to somebody that maybe is, dealing with the same things that you dealt with previously?
Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to say what other people's situation is. I come from a real small town. It's never been a wrestling guy party type thing. Drinking and stuff like that after a show. That's whatever. But in my small town, a small group of friends and stuff like that, you take it to the excess. It's hard because I've never been to any meetings or anything like that. But my own advice to myself was kind of like, you got to distance yourself from the people that that might encourage that kind of behavior. And it's hard, especially, like I said, it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. These are people you grew up with. You love these people with all your heart, but you know that you make bad decisions when you're with them. So it's hard to do that, and unless, of course, me personally, I'm always a social drinker, party, or whatever you want to call it. So I never liked to drink alone or anything like that. So I couldn't, as far as drinking, maybe try and find something, dive into something you're more passionate about. Maybe instead of going down and getting a six-pack and sitting there drinking it by yourself, go on the WWE Network and do your homework, as far as wrestling. But outside of that, it's definitely your surroundings. For me, it's been my surroundings, and I had to like I said, I had to step back and really make sure that I was making the right decisions and hanging out with the right crowd. Even though it's really hard to say goodbye to some friends that you've known every single day since you were a child. It's just the way that it is.
Let's try to get a little lighter now.
Sure.
We're here at Fight Society tonight.
Yeah.
You are the Fight Society heavyweight champion. What do you think of this? It's a little different.
It is.
What do you think of this entire concept?
It's really interesting. A bit hard to follow, even for some of us back here. I think that it's a really unique concept, and for all the commandments and the rules and stuff like that, I understand that that we're trying to do something different and be different, and that's cool. I don't mean to say anything in a negative way. It's just a bit hard to follow for us back here, so I can only imagine how it is for the fans. And it's a work in progress. It just started up. It's a vision from a couple of the guys, and a couple of guys that I have a lot of respect for. So I don't want to say that it's a bad idea by any means. It's a pretty cool idea. I just want to see the execution and to tell the story of where the direction of the company is going to be going as far as the rules and what this whole Fight Society is. It's not a wrestling company. It's a fight company, and as far as the rope breaks and the countouts and the way that you could win and the ranking system and stuff like that, it's a lot to take in. But at the same time, it's something to freshen up this company. It's been around for 20-some years, no matter what name you want to call it. So it's a different concept for the company. But the traditionalist in me just kind of wish we were still PWX. But because that name's, like I said, 20-some years. But if we're going to completely branch off and be Fight Society, I'm really proud to be a part of the first incarnation. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, sounds right.
Of the Fight Society. I'm really proud to be the champion. That definitely, it's just a bell, just a prop. To me, it means a lot because I've been in and out of this company, and have the faith to do that and let me be a part of it, especially in such a prominent role. From all the stuff that we've been through, I'm really proud of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds.
Let's say you walked outside tonight. You walked through the door, walked outside. There's a 15-year-old kid standing down there, and he says, "Oh my God, Patrick Hayes, you are my favorite wrestler. I want to be just like you. How do I get into the wrestling business?" What kind of advice would you give that 15-year-old kid?
Well, first and foremost, go to high school, stay in school, graduate from high school, graduate, the right way. As long as you got that diploma, whatever, this day and age, I don't know how they do it these days, but do that. Go and get an education, whether it's college or trade school, something like that. And then, do your homework. There's so many there's so many ways to I don't know, to get an idea on what this business can do to somebody, even if it is on just the independent level. I mean, it could really chew you up and spit you out. But if you really want to do it, then go for it. Give it your all, 110%. Find somewhere. If it's right here in this building, I'd say come on in. Talk to whoever's in charge of the training here. If you're right around here, come and train here. Or if you really want to go and hone your skills, go somewhere with the name value, with like a Lance Storm or a down in OBW again. That's a good one. Cody Hawk over in Ohio. I mean, there's several trainers and training schools that you can go to. But I'm not going to say that I made a mistake per se when I broke in. I would just say do it the right way and stay in school. And that's I know it's a cliche, but I really mean that. Stay in school.
So you had mentioned earlier when you first broke in, same as everybody, you had a dream to be in the WWE.
Sure.
Is there still a path for you today to get from here to there?
If you haven't filled out the extra talent form on WWE.com, you're silly, because you never know when they're in town and they need somebody, then you get looked at. The seminars, Evolve does seminars all the time. I did one in December that William Regal came to, and he checked us out, and it was really cool. Evolve is a great company that has ties with WWE, so if you can turn some heads there, then you'll be on the radar. And I don't know why I wouldn't be allowed to say this, but Gabe Sapolsky from Evolve, I think I'm saying his name right, he was telling us, he says, you guys are going to go out there and have your match for Mr. Regal, and you're going to think you have to do all your stuff because he doesn't know who you are. He said Regal pretty much knows who we all are, and how he knows who everybody is, the 40 guys that were in this seminar tryout type deal, is beyond me. But seminar, say what you want about the seminars, but the only guarantee you're gonna get out of that is that you're gonna get seen, and you're gonna learn at least something. So the seminars are always there. Send in your tapes, and I haven't been there, so I don't know exactly how to get there, but you never know what they're going to be looking for. Take James Ellsworth, for example. That thing just kind of caught fire. With social media, get that social media presence. That's one thing that they told us in that seminars. And really get that social media presence, and you never know who's going to be watching. You never know who's going to put that word in. You never know what producer or agent or anybody could see it. But I would, to keep an open mind. I mean, I know that the door's closing. The door's much. The opening is a little bit smaller than when it was, 10 years ago or so. But you never know, and I'll keep fighting, and there's always a dream. But at the same time, if not, I'm having a lot of fun working with the companies that I'm working for. Again, I'm a newish dad, so having the weekends away from my kid and stuff is sometimes I need that weekend break to be with her, and so I'm having fun doing what I'm doing. But when Vince calls, I'll be there.
One of my favorite things to do on these interviews is to play word association. Sure. So I'm going to bring up a few names. Maybe doesn't cover your entire career, but it's very Western Pennsylvania sort of centralized. So I'm going to say a name. You can say one word or 100 words, whatever you feel right about this one. So let's start with Jim Miller.
Jim Miller. I've known Jim Miller for like 10 years or so, and up until recently, I probably only talked to him like 7 times. He's quiet. He's a character in his own right. He'll break your hand when he shakes it, but he's his own. He's his own man. He goes by the beat of his own drum. If you don't like it, if you don't like him, you don't like his company, you don't like him as a promoter or as a human being, then he'll tell you to get the hell out. But I think Jim's alright by me.
How about RWA and Dr. Feelbad?
RWA, Dr. Feelbad. I think Dr. Feelbad, I always had fun at RWA. I had a lot of friends there. I think Feelbad, I think Derek is very passionate about his product, and he should be. That's his baby. You know, it's him and his family, you know, putting it on as far as I know. Talking to him was a lot of fun when he'd call up and have all his ideas and stuff like that. He always took care of me very well. I have not a single bad thing to say about Derek at all, or the RWA. I miss it a little bit, actually.
For a long time out here in Western PA, you were sort of known for teaming with Ashton Amherst. What are your thoughts on our old buddy Aaron?
That's another one. I miss him so much. I had so much fun with him. We were both coming up. I just had a show with Sam Adonis last weekend, or maybe 2 weekends ago, and he was talking. We did a whole weekend loop, and he was saying how much he enjoyed. He's the one who teamed us together at Far North Wrestling. Him and his dad, and they teamed us together because it's like one guy. There's the best tag team because one guy has something that the other guy doesn't necessarily have. Aaron had a great body. He was a bit shorter, but he made up for it. I mean, he was stacked, and he can cut a promo. And I like to go out there and work and call the spots and kind of be a little bit funny as far as when we worked as heels. But I think Ashton Amherst had so much potential, and he'll tell you if he cared about it a little bit more, then he definitely would have. Especially now when it's not necessarily about the giants of the, you know, I think at least he would have. He could have did something, but I miss him very much personally.
How about Quinn Magnum?
Oh, respect. That's a one-word answer would be respect. It always has been. Like I said, I've been in and out of this company, no matter what you want to call it, and it was always coming back in. I was kind of walking on eggshells and like, I don't want to piss Quinn off again, and then I would. But now we're closer than ever, and I think it's because, you know, growing up. I grew up, and I understand that he's got his own ideas, and it's another one. Maybe it's just this company here. You know, he's got his ideas, and you know, maybe after a while, when he trusts you a bit more, then you know you could talk to him about maybe we could do it this way, or would you mind if we did it this way? Aside from that, keep your mouth shut and do what he tells you. Let's
run down the top 6 contenders that were listed by Fight Society. Let's start with the guy tonight. He just had a 22-minute. I mean, it was brilliant. It was a great classic match. I do encourage everybody, if you get a chance to check it out online or whatever. It was a brilliant match. Lee Moriarty.
We had a little moment after the match. I kind of just talked to him a little bit, and I said, you know what, man? There's no secret. I don't know when this is going to come out, but he's going to be going elsewhere. And I told him, I said, and I asked him why, and he said, you know, it's because he's become a little bit stagnant and he just doesn't want to keep doing the same routine. And I get that. He's been here for a few years, every show, damn near. And I see him popping up in Cleveland and doing different gimmicks and different characters and heelish and babyface and whatever character he does. In the ring, he's really, really good. He's so far ahead in his experience than he even knows. I think he has a tremendous future, and I'm always blessed to share the ring with him.
How about Dean Radford?
I've never been in the ring with Dean Radford. I was going to wait to do this for a cool promo, but I had, when I was really young, I had a tryout for IWC, and Dean Radford and Shirley Doe were the ones who watched her tryout. It was me and Lamont Williams. Lamont, like I said, my trainer. I let him call it and stuff like that. I'm not saying that I wasn't down with it, but we did a little bit too much. And I'll never forget, you know, I'm trying to work the crowd that wasn't there. It was just Dean and Shirley Doe. And Doe was real responsive, but Dean just out there. So I'm on the middle rope trying to get him into it. And he's just like, what are you doing, Dick? And so that's my first memory of Dean. But then I started working with him here at Fight Society. We've never been in the ring together, but I think that's going to be something that's going to be coming up sometime down the road, and I'm looking forward to it because now it's, you know, now I'm not the young boy trying to get a job from you. You know, I'm the man now.
What about I think you wrestled him last month here, Chris Helmsley.
Chris Helmsley, I think He's original. He's a little bit ornery, but I think that I think he's good at his role. I mean, as far as he makes people hate him, and you know, and that's what he wants to do. You know, I don't think that he's like one of those heels that want to go out there and tries to be cool. You know, he wants to. He does his job well, and he can take an ass whooping like no other. And I think that slowly, especially with the group of fans that are regulars here, they're going to realize that, you know, eventually this guy takes more of an ass whooping than anybody, and he keeps going. And so, you know, maybe eventually they'll start having a little bit of sympathy for him, and who knows where that can go. Because, like anywhere, you know, the more they hate you, the more they're going to love you when you're. So I think Chris he's a little bit misunderstood, and I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings, but I think Chris is a pretty stand-up guy.
One of my favorite opponents I ever had here. I know he's going through a bit of an injury right now, but how about Strider?
Oh, man. When I came back here, PWX Fight Society, whatever you want to call it, and I saw him working with Lee Moriarty and anybody that he worked with. He actually comes out and works for this company in Ohio that we work for now. It's like a whole different guy. I remember first meeting him out in the RWA. I think I've known Strider for about 10 years now. And then he came here to PWX, got a solid push. He was on top real early. And, you know, and he'll tell you this too. He's kind of just going through the motions of having the same match. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he went back and honed his skills or what. But, man, he's probably the most underrated guy in Pittsburgh, all in the surrounding areas, I think. And he can go anywhere. And I don't know what's holding him back. I mean, he can go, and I like Strider a lot. And personally, he's a very, very good friend. He's probably one of the nicest guys. If anybody has anything bad to say about Strider, you're wrong. You're the bad guy for saying anything, because he's awesome in the ring and outside the ring.
How about Turin Flight?
Turin Flight, I like him personally. I think he's got some work to do in the ring, and you know, he's got some work to do.
Yeah, I've had that conversation with him before. I had it tonight with him, so I think everybody's sort of on the same page. He's a nice guy,
sure.
But he's got to figure out who he is. He's got to figure out who he is.
Sure.
As far as a performer, I think we can agree on that. Last word association, Patrick Hayes.
Always tries the hardest. I always try to do my job. Patrick Hayes always tries to do his job the best that he can. Doesn't matter what spot on the card. I'll always try to have the best match, but that's just me being me.
You did it tonight, that's for damn sure.
Oh, I appreciate that. A hard worker. Works hard.
What's next for you?
Well, I guess I'll just go check my emails and see if any of the promoters emailed me back. I want to travel. I really want to travel. My daughter's getting a little bit older, so it's not as hard to leave for the weekends. I just did this loop, this West Virginia kick a couple weeks ago, which was awesome. And being back on the road, I was on the road for like 3 days. The first couple, it took like a little hump to get over that day. I had to talk with Cahagas, the former NWA World Champion, and he was telling me his hectic schedule. I mean, he's going down to Texas for the Cauliflower Alley Club, then he's going to do a taping for MLW, then he's heading over to Vegas, and then he's doing all this. I was like, man, I've been on the road for 2 days and I want to go home. But after that third day, I was like, that was awesome. I miss doing that. Like, remember when we do Far North Wrestling on Friday, and then we do PWX on Saturday, and then on Sunday I'd be over in Youngstown somewhere, you know. And maybe it's not the greatest promotions to work for, but you know, it makes you feel like it's all worth it because you got 3 different crowds to work for, and you're working hard, and you might be sore for that week, but it's what we want to do.
Yeah,
it's the dream.
Sure. So we have covered a lot here. Is there anything else you'd like to say or bring up before we wrap this thing up?
I just want the guys and girls that are in the professional wrestling business, especially the ones that I know personally, is to just understand that it's a business. keep working hard. Nobody's out to get you or hurt you, and if they are, then they're no good. Just always keep your head up. Try to stay out of trouble best you can, and just keep working hard and support it, and just continue being a wrestler. And there's one more thing. As far as the wrestling fans, that's one thing I did want to bring up. Was what happened to, the wrestling fans being wrestling fans? I feel like they want to be part of the show so bad, but like they don't want to come and be the wrestlers. You know what I mean? It's a little bit discouraging to go out there, and some guys that we were just talked about earlier, we don't see them anymore. And it'd be so nice if we did, but maybe they get discouraged because the fans aren't fans anymore. So I just wish that all of us as the performers that are doing this can be a little bit more respectful to the fans, and maybe they'll understand that we respect them just as much as they respect us. Unless they're assholes. You know that.
Yeah, sure. Well, I had a little conversation with Quinn here at the end of the night, and I mentioned that maybe there's a few fans here that are taking away from your show.
Sure.
And I don't know how you fix that.
That's pretty. And you made it kind of summed up what I just rambled on forever there. I just feel like they want to take away from it, and then there's fans. I had an encounter with a fan a couple weeks ago that wanted to bring up, the man behind Patrick Hayes, and I was just like, you know what, that's kind of creepy. I'm out here as Patrick Hayes. If you want to talk to me about Tom, we can go talk about that, outside, and you're not gonna like how that goes. But it's like, I'm out here performing for you as Patrick Hayes, and and then there's other ones, if you don't get something right, or there's a slip up, or you effed up or whatever, it's like, dude, I'm here doing this. Are you gonna do this? Follow me personally around? Like, you're such a super fan that you want to make it about yourself, and call me out on the bad things I do. What if I go to a supermarket and I grab 2% milk instead of whole milk? Are you gonna chant "you effed up"? You effed up? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, just because I didn't do what you thought I was gonna do in the ring, and I'm not saying me personally, but anybody. I just wish I wish we could just go back to being fans. Yeah. All of us, and understand, it's a work.
Well, I really appreciate this. I know it's a very late night for you. You already wrestled a 20-minute match.
Yeah, I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
And then here we are. I'm holding you up, trying to. You want to get out to your buddies, and I'm holding you up. So I just want to say, man, I really appreciate it. This has been great for me. We're gonna close on this. Thank you very much.
I had so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm gonna close, guys, girls. Please stop having shitty matches. You're ruining my life.